Hello and good day to all friends. I am Mojtaba Rasti from the Thales team, and today is November 25th, 2025. I'm here with you to analyze Bitcoin using the Thales Market Screener tool. Please note that these analyses are collective and educational, intended for informational purposes. If you use them to take positions in the market, the responsibility for any profit or loss is entirely yours. Alright, let's get started with the Market Screener right away and see what we have. What can we infer from the options contracts about Bitcoin's upcoming movement? Let's consider the options trades from the start of today up to this very moment for the expiration date of tomorrow, November 26th. Well, what we see is 1,343 Bitcoins in the form of 1,048 options contracts, which is now increased to 1,367 Bitcoins, resulting in this kind of curve. Take a look at this volatile curve. Let me clarify this volatile curve for you. The bottom of this fluctuation is at 82, 5 and 300, 400, and the top of this fluctuation is 90,500. We can see movement in both directions. At the top, we see the ceiling, and at the bottom, the floor. If we move the slider forward, we can see the trades from the past hour. Look, it's turning bearish. Trades in the past hour, starting from around 10 o'clock today, have taken on a bearish trend. Look at the trades. It goes into profit below 84,000, and you can actually see the downward trend on the curve. Let's move on to the process database. The process database shows the same situation. If we move the slider forward, you can see again that the trend is downward. Of course, here the bullish leg is stronger than in the first database, but there's a point to note. That point is, here, for call buyers to break even, they have to endure a lot of loss. That is, up to 94,000, they're at the peak of loss. Look at the red area. If the price moves to 94,000, only then do these buyers, in terms of the premium they've paid, reach the peak of their loss. They have to bear this loss until above 98,000 to enter profit. Meanwhile, on the downside, with just a small move below 825,000, our curve goes into profit. So a move downward is more logical and likely more accessible for the price. Let's go back to the raw database, and let's look at the 27th expiration. Without the 26th, just look at the 27th on its own. It's completely bearish. That means Thursday alone is in profit below 84.5, which itself gives us a bearish signal for the coming days. Now let's look at the same situation for the 28th, Friday, the end of the week. Here you can see a slight bullish situation, but the point is, from where we are right now, at this price level that's gone into profit, from here up to 90,800 we have call selling. That means with an increase in price, we see a decrease in delta, which indicates call selling, and this ceiling is realized at 900,000. If this ceiling's broken, we could see a limited bullish move up to 95. Look here, from this point, from 90,000, 91,000 up to 95, along with the price increase, we see an increase in delta, meaning call buying has happened. But what really stands out in this delta chart is the intensity of put buying and selling. See, right from here with the price decrease, we had an increase in delta. Put delta, or the delta from selling puts, is always positive. This positive increasing delta indicates the intensity of put selling, as if traders are still looking for another bottom to form. This bottom could be somewhere around 84,000, and after that, they might start a potential upward move. If we move the slides forward and look at the trades, you'll see this intensity increases. The search for a bottom becomes more intense. Now the contracts have really started to look like put selling. There's been so much put selling that starting from about 1:30 p.m. today, the total contracts have taken the shape of a put sale, which is targeting a bottom at 84,000 to see if it materializes. So, very likely, on Friday, we might see another downward move. Let's go to the database. Let's look at the raw data for the same expiration date, which is tomorrow. I'll refresh it so we can see what the contracts look like. You can see that 1,367 Bitcoin have been traded, out of which 631 are buys. Of these, 309 are call option buys, and 131 are put option buys. Most of the put option buys, if we go back in time to the hour we're analyzing, started from this point. Our 0 hour started from here. So you can see that it was the put buyers whose outlook has come true and is still coming true, and here they're even more dominant. But where are the call buyers? The call buyers' outlook hasn't materialized yet. The call buyers are looking for above 88,000, but that level hasn't been reached yet. On this candle, we only went up to 88,500, but it hasn't been fully reached yet, and it's possible it might not be reached at all. That means we might head in that direction, but since the call buyers have more strength, we might go that way. So here, the pressure is on the downside with the call buyers. There are 319 Bitcoin call sales and 417 Bitcoin put sales. Again, the put sellers have a relatively clear dominance here, seeing the bottom at 85,600. They've seen the bottom at 85,600 so far. That's where they see the bottom here. So the price can drop at least down to the put seller's floor. And where do the call sellers see the ceiling? That's at 89,300. So this shows that for tomorrow, we have a ceiling around 89 to 90,000. And if we move upward, we'll probably stop there. It seems like we also have a lower level where we might see it. So it seems that the call sellers are actually indicating that we'll see a ceiling in this area, around 89,400 for tomorrow. And as you saw for Thursday, we had a completely downward curve with put buying happening. Let's move on to the process database and check out the heavier trades to see what's going on. Here we have a series of trades with negative open interest. Let's remove those that have been closed. We'll consider open interest of 1 and above. You can see here again the curve is downward, ready to drop, and from here the delta is negative, which could go down to as low as 82.3. Now here we're considering trades with a volume higher than 10 Bitcoin. There are 18 trades, 18 contracts above 10 Bitcoin. There's a strategy here. If we look at it, we see it's a spread, a bullish spread, and this spread has already reached its maximum profit target. That is, the spread was entered at noon today, and the maximum profit was seen at 87, not higher. So it didn't expect the price to go higher, and you can see that was correct. We went up to 89,200, so it came up to here, made a fixed profit, and after 87, the trader's profit was capped. They knew the profit ceiling, and as you can see, we've not reached it. That's an interesting point in itself. Among the heavy trades here, the largest one is 24 Bitcoin, a long call for 94, which gives us a bullish signal, but overall, as you saw, the majority of trades are bearish and favor the downside. So, to sum it up, we can consider a scenario like this for tomorrow. From this point, we might move down toward the 85,500 to 85,400 zone. We'll probably find some support there and then head up toward 90,000. Most likely that will be the ceiling and we'll aim for 90,000. Unless the next scenario plays out where support doesn't hold here and it breaks downward. In that case, we'd be looking at around 83,500 and then 80,000. Thanks for your attention, and I hope this was helpful.